This is news on WhatsApp Caribbean for Monday, January 26, 2015. Stay with us as we brief you on regional developments. I'm Deanza Roberts. In the headlines, the 5 students in the rock gutter tragic accident in St. Vincent lay to rest. Trinidadians still shocked at the death of TV host, husband being questioned by police. And in Haiti, that country has formed electoral panels for overdue polls. Looking at sports, polo season kicks off this week in Barbados. The details to these and other stories straight ahead.
Turbo charge. Dirty life. Turbo charge. Boom. The fed start. The place mad. One flash of rum. My head gone. Fall in the fed like raindrops. So when I lead, you follow me. Lord. As I reach the fed, I jump it up. Any girl I hold, I walk it on. Don't come and tell me the party done, cause I come in here to play bass. Cause right now me, turbo, boom, charge. Right now me, turbo, charge. Right now me, turbo.
In the news, hundreds of Vincentians gathered yesterday to bid farewell to the 5 students who perished in the rock gutter tragic incident on January 12, 2015. The funeral service of brothers Jamali and Jamal Edwards, Raquel Ashton, Glenroy Michael and Anik Alexander brought tears to the eyes of those who gathered at the fancy playing field for the service of the students. Prime Minister of that country, the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves, and Opposition Leader Annie Eustace, say they were moved by the outpour of support from the nation, and they stressed the need not only to come together when there were tragedies, but to always show love and support for one another. The Prime Minister said while it is a sad time for the country, he is still happy that some survived.
We must not remember today only the students who are dead and those who are missing. We must remember those who have survived. This is a funeral service for those who are dead. But on that morning, 21 of our citizens boarded that bus. I pledge to them here today, those 11 young persons who have survived, that I shall go to the parliament of this country and make appropriate proposals to ensure that nothing will be spared for these 11 young children.
That was Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Ralph Gonsalves. 2 students, Chance Stacia Stay and Simonique Ballantyne, are still missing. Haiti has installed a provisional electoral council to organize long-delayed elections after weeks of protest and political uncertainty. The 9-member panel represents different sectors of the society. It was sworn in shortly before a UN Security Council delegation arrived on a 3-day mission. The polls are 3 years overdue when President Michel Martelly began ruling by decree last week when Parliament was dissolved. The dissolution followed a failure to elect new MPs in the impoverished Caribbean nation. Shock waves reverberated across the media, artistic and national community when people learned about the tragic death of TV6 television personality Marcia Henville on Saturday in Trinidad. Officers from that country's Homicide Bureau say they will decide what action to take following an autopsy on the body of Henville today. We get the details in this TV6 News report.
As many from all walks of life continue to mourn her death, police and the fire officials continue their investigations into the circumstances surrounding the death of Marcia Henville. Crews were called to Henville's home at Fidelis Heights, St. Augustine after a fire broke out. Inside the home, the 51-year-old TV host was found dead, while her husband had to be hospitalized after suffering first-degree burns. Henville's husband is still warded at the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex, and he's being kept under police guard.
That report from TV6. Regional Coast Guard officers are better equipped in the area of navigation after spending 2 weeks at the Barbados Coast Guard headquarters, the HMBS Pelican. They participated in a basic navigation course. The course, which was delivered by a visiting training team from the Royal Navy, focused on areas such as collision avoidance rules, chart work, basic navigation, plotting, harbor hazards, among others. Colonel Alvin Quinton, that's the Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force, addressing participants, said that he's encouraging them to practice the new skills learned and also to relay the knowledge to other mariners in their respective units.
And so I therefore encourage each of you course participants to continue on your respective paths of progress, to learn newer and smarter methods to accomplish your maritime security tasks without compromising safety. I encourage you not only to practice the new skills you have learned during the past 2 weeks, but also to relay that knowledge and those skills to other mariners in your respective units. By so doing, you will be making a meaningful contribution to the professional development of your units. Let not the efforts of the instructors be in vain.
That was Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force, Colonel Alvin Quinton. That's how we wrap up news. Up next, we take a look at sports. Welcome back in sports. The polo field is set for the ICBL Digicel Villages Tour. That's from January 27th through to February 1st. And Diamonds International Bulgari Battle of the Sexes from February 1st to the 8th, 2015. Word of this from Secretary of the Barbados Polo Club, Stuart Gill. His remarks as he addressed media, sponsors and partners at the season opening press conference recently held at the Polo Field Clubhouse in St. James, Barbados. He says the 2015 season is poised to be exciting and competitive.
A very exciting season of polo planned for this year. We have had a rather broken start to the season so far in between rain, but we've managed to get going this week. We think that polo offers a great outing for tourists and locals alike, and this year we would like to spread the various modes of communication to make the awareness of polo and the games much more broadly known and to increase the attendance.
That was Secretary of the Barbados Polo Club, Stuart Gill. Finally in sports, Sunil Narayan followed up Jason Mohammed's maiden regional one-day 100 with a career best spell to wreck the Guyana Jaguars batting and gift Trinidad and Tobago Red Force a 135-run victory in the grand finale of the Najika Super 50 tournament held yesterday. Narayan collected 6 for 9 from 8 overs as the Jaguars chasing 201 for victory under the lights on an easy-paced Queen Park oval pitch crumbled for 65 in 23.5 overs before a crowd of more than 5,000, mostly Red Force supporters. Trevor Griffith scored 31 and was the only Jaguars batsman to reach double figures as the visitors lost their last 9 wickets for 29 runs in the space of 102 balls to hand the Red Force their 11th regional one-day title and their first in 5 years, erasing the memory of last year's loss to arch-rivals Barbados Pride. That's how we wrap up sports. Up next, a recap of your headlines.
I love Girlfriend Expo. I love Girlfriend Expo. Amazing.
Recapping the headlines making news, the 5 students who perished in a rock gutter tragic accident in St. Vincent have been laid to rest. In Trinidad, that country is still shocked at the death of TV host. Her husband is being questioned by police. And Haiti forms the electoral panel for overdue polls. And in sports, polo season kicks off this week in Barbados. Remember, for the latest in news, sports and other developments in the region, log on to whatsupcaribbean.com, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. This was a Carib Fire production. Thanks for joining us.